Well, the rings I have in my hand now. Okay. Both these two big ones are ones that I've made here. Cole showed me how to facet, and this is my first faceted stone, and that's a round brilliant. And the actual rings themselves were cast from a wax pattern. Now, the wax patterns we actually purchased, these ones are from America. This was what it looks like, a wax pattern, before we turn it into these lovely gold and silver rings. Now, you make the cast, make the ring, and then you've got to set the stone. Now, in order to do that, it takes a few different tools. You've got to get little files, get little drills, and you've got to make little notches in here. I do that with something called a Dremel. This is my own personal one. Little bits and pieces, little drill, and away you go. And so you make the little notches here, put the stone in, and you use a tool which actually closes it up, and you push it over, and that holds the stone in. So that's the only thing really that's holding that stone in. Believe it or not, it holds it in quite well. I've done the same thing over here with this opal, and there you go, it's quite effective. At the moment, I'm obsessed with opals. They call it opal fever, and what happens there is you just really, really like opals. Yeah. Just got some examples here of different opals. This one here is interesting. It's called boulder opal. It's got little tiny bits of flash in it. See bits of green floating around, and that's all just caked up in bits of mud, really. And then there's one called a doublet. Now, what they do there is they'll get a piece of opal, a slither of opal, and they'll actually glue it to. They'll glue it to some more opal that's has no flash in it. It's not a very exciting opal, the opal that doesn't have any colour, and they call it potch. It's the stuff they throw away. Now, they glue that to the bottom of the slither that has the beautiful shiny colours, and they call that a doublet. These are doublets before they've been cut, which will make it even cheaper. They've got something called a triplet. They'll actually stick something on top so that the opal is sandwiched in between the two layers. So that's called a triplet, and they're very inexpensive. These here are doublets as well. It's a lot easier to see because there's the potch on the back, and there's the two layers. And this one here is the cheapest one, and yet if you look, this is a really nice example of a triplet, and yet it's the most inexpensive. This here cost me $8. And yet looks highly effective. The thing I find interesting is, and funny is anybody who knows anything about jewellery will straight away go sideways and to see if it is, because if that was solid, they'd be worth a lot of money, you know, 30, 40, 50,000, things like that. But the way it is, because it's just a little slither of it, it's only $8, so that's the budget opal. Little bits of solder, we get some cutters. Get some little tiny bit of solder. We put it on the end of a paintbrush with some flux, and we use these little heat guns, and we do all our work up against the brick. When we've finished soldering something, most of the time it'll go into this jar here, which we've got to be pretty careful about because it's got a liquid called pickle, and that's an acid, so we have to be careful. And from the pickle, we'll rinse it in the water, and then we'll put it back on the heat brick and wait for it to cool down a bit, and then you can hold it afterwards. Cole's brother, he actually got a file and a drill and got a penny, and he drilled a hole both there, there and there. This was in a penny, and he filed out carefully, ever so carefully, around the kangaroo. And then, when he finished, I grabbed it and I actually made a mould. That's a half penny, mould, and that's a full penny mould there. And what I did was I melted some jewellery wax, and I melted into the mould, so I made a wax pattern, and I cast it into silver. Now I didn't stop there, I actually got a couple of little opals, and I made a bezel for them, and I put them just right here and here, and made a little bail up the top, and you've got a nice little piece of jewellery. Now another little fun project of mine was, I got this beautiful, I cast this silver mermaid here. Now that was a lovely pattern, that's another one from America. Now, I got a file, I filed that out because I wanted that to fit in there. So the next thing I needed to do was to make a little case for it. So I made this here, put it in here, and this guy here is eventually going to go into there, and away you go. Put on a lovely chain and make a lovely necklace or brooch, something. But that's all part of it, and that's what I like the most about coming to the club, is the amount of artistic freedom. You can muck around a lot and just really make some beautiful things. Oh, look at them.
Mucorite from Western Australia, dendritic moss opalite from Western Australia, chrysoprase from Marlborough in Queensland, tiger eye from one of the African states, and blue lace agate from Australia, somewhere in Australia.
They're quite fine pieces, aren't they?
Yeah, they're good quality,
Yeah. Well, thank you both very much for being involved in Short Time.
Thank you.